Hi guys, my name is Sixtus Corey. They call me Rabbi Rabboni in full. This is Bread of Life. Yesterday and 2 days ago, I made a post about speaking in tongues, and those posts didn't sit well with a whole lot of us. It's normal. Bread of Life won't sit well with many of us, especially those who don't want to hear the truth. During the time of Jesus Christ, his teachings didn't even sit well with a whole lot of people. So it's not a new thing. So if you want to hear the truth, it will sit well with you. But if you like lies, it won't sit well with you. Now we're talking about speaking in tongues. Now the way we speak in tongues in this era, is it the same way like the early Christians spoke in tongues? No, you come to church and everybody is speaking in tongues. Everybody speaking in tongues. Now, it now makes you feel like you are the new devil, or you're like the Antichrist, or you're like a beast, or you're like you're going to hell. No, it's not so. Everybody cannot be speaking in tongues at the same time. Yes, St. Paul tells us in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 8 to 10, that there are 9 gifts of the Holy Spirit. 9 gifts of the Holy Spirit. Now, what are these spirits? What are these gifts? Sorry. 9 of them. The gift of wisdom, knowledge, faith, healing, miraculous powers, prophecy, distinguishing between spirits, speaking in tongues, and the interpretation of tongues. Therefore, there should be people who should interpret the tongues we are speaking. Yes, because this same St. Paul told us in 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 27, that if you must speak in tongues, 2 or at most 3 should speak in tongues, and the fourth person should interpret. But in our today's Christianity, who one interprets roboskoin, roboskeske, robo, rabaraba, Elohim iskaba. Even if you mention Bakasi or Isakaba, my dear, you are talking nonsense. This is not how speaking in tongues was spoken in those days. So it's quite different now. Everybody's doing everything at the same time. But it's wrong because ekere onu eke. Only all I'm his or her own function in the ministry. Yes, because in the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 2, verse 1 to 13, when the Holy Spirit descended on the apostles, they began to speak in different languages. What happened? People from different parts of the world came to hear them speak in their own native language or languages. People from Rome, people from Pamphylia, people from Cappadocia, people from different places, the Jews, people from Judea, they came around and heard the apostles speak in their own native languages. Even people from Libya and Egypt. Libya and Egypt are parts of Africa. That's to show you that even Africa got converted to Christianity before UK and US that came about this brand of Christianity we have now, which is quite different from the ones the apostles gave us. So it's not so. So whatever you're speaking should be a known language. If you're speaking in tongues, people, Indians, French, Germans, different people should be able to hear Chinese, Japanese, they should be able to hear their native languages on our lips, not some foreign kind of language. It's not so. If you do so, then you're now going against the real way of speaking in tongues or the real method of speaking in tongues. Yes, because even if we say everybody can speak in tongues, what you're speaking is not intelligible to the mind. The mind cannot comprehend it. Okay, that being said, why is speaking in tongues so important to us in this part of the world? Is speaking in tongues greater than love? We have less love and more speaking in tongues. So why do we speak in tongues and we're still hungry as a people? Why do we speak in tongues and we're still starving? We don't have love. It's wrong. It's not supposed to be so. Yes, because First Corinthians chapter 13 verse 2 says, even if I have the gift of prophecy, even if I can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, even if I have faith that can move mountains and I don't have love, I am what? I am nothing. I am practically nothing. Therefore, love is even more important than the speaking in tongues. We can't be speaking in tongues and we are hungry as a nation. We can't be speaking in tongues and there's much hatred, crime, violence, people backstabbing each other. We can't. Because this wasn't the way the early Christians lived. The Acts of the Apostles chapter 4 verse 34 told us that they were one in heart and mind and they lacked nothing. Nobody, there was no needy person among them, because those who had brought, and those, they shared what they have, sharing. Everybody was comfortable. But right now, it's not so. You come to church, you can't ask help from any member of the church, not to talk of your man of God. You can't. Therefore, if you come to church, you see people milking others and people starving to death. So this wasn't the way the early Christians lived. So right now, in our today's country, we now promote speaking in tongues more than promoting love. How come we speak in tongues and in 2025, Nigeria and DR Congo will account for 1/4, 25% of the world's poverty? Like the total world's poverty will be in Nigeria. Like if we and DR Congo, maybe ours will be like 15 or 20%, because we have more population than DR Congo. So how come? So the speaking in tongues is not necessary at this time. It's not even needed. What is needed is love. If we have love, those people at the top, our leaders, will lead us well. Then we following, we follow well. If we have love, we will love one another. Because as St. Paul said in 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 2, even if I have all the gifts, if I don't have love, I am nothing. That is it. Once again, this is your Rabbi Rabboni, 6 to Scoring, and this is Bread of Life. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.